Welcome to Old Iron Machine Works. This video will be mixed bag number 2. I'm always picking up stuff wherever I can get a good deal on it that'll add to my shop. And this video will be pretty much showing some of the purchases I've picked up over the last few months. What you're seeing here is a fire in Oregon. Me and some friends decided to head to Oregon to the 49th annual Oregon Steam Up, which is called the Great Oregon Steam Up, and it's in Salem, Oregon, and they had a fire going on at the time. This was the 26th of July when we were heading up, and then coming back on the 28th, I think was already up to about 11,000 acres.
Oh, look it up there. That side of the mountain there's going. Oh, sorry, Mike. That's right.
Brad nailer. Brand new Brad nailer, $35. What am I gonna do? Say no?
That's right.
Wow, look at you. You need some big wrenches?
I had been needing it. Made up.
So there is one thing. You think we can get the truck in here?
I tried earlier. They said, "Who are you?" Yeah, right. And I gave my name, and they said, "You're. We have any specials. You're."
I apologize for lack of footage of the swap meet. We didn't really have a whole lot of time to check out the tractors and old hit and miss engines, and we were kind of crunched for time, but I thought I'd throw in that little bit. And then this is just a trip home where the fire seemed to I think at this point there was a total of like 11,000 acres already burnt.
Well, I didn't find too much stuff at the Oregon swap meet, but I did find a few items. Let's see what I got here. Okay, one of the first ones. I was hoping to find more of these, but it's not the best of shape. It definitely needs to have a little straightening done, but it was only $10, so I thought that was I think most of it I should be able to straighten out pretty good. And you guys seen these old wrenches. They were, there's a difference between asking price and giving price. They normally will come down and sell them a little bit cheaper. But they also have a deal here for cleaning threads. 5/16 18, half 13, 3/8 16. Let's see. Alright, nothing fancy about this one. This is just a good user. This here, I forgot what I paid. I didn't pay much, but I have a Criterion boring head that's the 4-inch, which takes the 1-inch. So I thought it'd give me something to be able to clamp some kind of tool up in it. I think I ended up giving like $10 for this old snap-on. But I have the previous one before this one, which is a snap-on, where it's, let's see here. This one here, well, I actually have a patent number. I have an older one that's actually patent applied for. So anyway, but one thing about a snap-on wrench, if it's not military, if it breaks, it's warranted for life. So basically, I think for the $10, I could send it to Snap-on or trade it in for a brand new one. Okay, I found these set of 3, which I thought were kind of unique. On the pilot here, the pilot is fixed right into it. And this one here is a 1/4 inch, so I would imagine they have the options of just changing from coarse to fine. But anyway, I got the 3-piece here. That's 3/8, 1/4 by 1/16. I thought they were kind of neat. So I bundled them and got those. And like many others that collect tap handles, I came across this one, which I thought was kind of different. I thought it was kind of cool. You just loosen the handle up here, you know, and then that just slides back. You put your tap in there, tighten it up. I thought that was kind of neat. You got from real small right here, step up a little bigger. So actually it'd go from this one to this, to this, to the large one. I did not see a maker's mark on this one, but I still, whoop. Okay, here we go. There is a maker's mark. I see if it'll focus and catch it. There's a maker's mark. I didn't notice this before. It's even got a patent pending. Anyway, I've never seen one like that, so I thought that was kind of cool. Anyway, not a whole lot, but on this one, it looks like it's the Elliott Corporation. Patent pending. On these others, on the set of these other 3, Champion Blower and Forge, Lancaster. Patent December 7th, 1894. So these are a little bit older than I originally thought.
After leaving the scrapyard with my Vidmar cabinet, I headed back to the Bay Area to pick up some machining tooling. It's an old machinist that's kind of phasing out, and I've been buying stuff from them for years. And they happen to have this bandsaw and sitting on a cart, so I made a deal on both of them. I've kind of lost track on how many Vidmar style cabinets that I have now. I pick them up when they're cheap, and I don't think that I have two that are an exact match. I actually did some trading to a friend of mine. He won a few items in the Bay Area at an auction, and one of them was he acquired a lot of drill bits, and these are all number 5 Morse taper, which he can't use, and I can use them in my big lathe. Also picked up this large arbor for my Kerner and Trekkie horizontal mill, and the plan with it is I want to make a boring bar where I can have the boring head go anywhere on the shaft and be able to adjust the cutter out, you know, for just different boring applications.
Okay, here's another thing I did some horse trading on. You'll see in one of my older videos where I picked up a 10EE Monarch lathe and just kind of picking up tooling when I can find it. And a friend of mine had this. This is an Aloris AXA. So anyway, we did a little trading and I acquired it. It came with one tool holder, and if you ever watch Outside Screwball, Chuck's channel, he made a rack that seemed like it held about 20 of them or something, which was very cool. I don't think I'll need much of a rack quite yet, but anyway, that'll go on to 10EE, which hopefully I'll show in some videos down the road. Another project. Anyway, I'd love to find an Aloris. I'd like to go bigger than the CA. The DAs are the big boys. You know, this is an okay tool holder, but you got to shim everything when you want to move your cutter up and down.
Here's some more tooling for the big lathe. Another big live center with the number 5 Morse taper. And then a nice number 20 chuck with also the number 5 Morse taper. This number 20 chuck has a range of 3/8 to 1 inch. Here I'm just holding up a typical 1/2 inch chuck just for kind of like a size comparison. Also picked up a collet holder with the 50 taper that will fit the Kerner Trekkie. I figure if I need to, you know, put it in a mill or something in, it gives me all the collets. I thought it would be kind of handy. Here's an adjustable boring head. I figure I can get a 50 adapter that it will fit into and also use it in the K&T. I do have a few lathes in my home shop, but this is the biggest of the lathes that I have. It's a 1961 Regal LeBlanc 26-inch swing. And now I got a nice chuck for it. It's definitely not in the Brian Block category, but it works all right for me. Here's some Craigslist finds, some 246 blocks, and a little Harding's 5C collet indexer.
Here's another set of tools that I got that I thought would be pretty cool. I haven't used them yet, but watching Chuck Outside Screwball's latest video, he had some quick change collet systems which looked very cool. This one you would definitely have to stop before you change them, but the reason I picked these up is I got the R8, which will go into Bridgeport. And I don't know if you can see it or not. Kingman White Incorporated. I am not sure if they're the only ones that make this style. I've never used them, but I thought they were very cool. And the guy actually had the 40 taper. Also, the 40 taper will go in the vertical head on my Kerner Trekkie. And I thought, okay, that'd be kind of cool, where I can just use the same holders. All the holders here, as you can see, lots of different shapes and sizes. And here's the taper that, that locks up. And the way these things work is you just twist a collar and then it locks back. You can see the lock pattern inside. This particular one already has, what is this, a number 11 ball bearing chuck. And you pretty much just slide them in there, and when you hit the button, it locks. And then at that point, you just twist it into where it stops, slide it out, pop the other one in. And they got several different sizes. There's the taper. There's the part to put your end mills. Lots of this particular one here has smaller ones that'll fit in there. Pull that out, change the sizes in there. Here's like a centering one, so you'll just leave that one set up, pop it in, pop it out. There's a small little Albright. And like I say, they just pop in there, and then you hit the button and locks it in. And then you just twist it to pop them out. Anyway, I thought it was very cool. Haven't had a chance to use it yet.
This was a Craigslist find that came with the 246 blocks and Harding's 5C collet closer. It's actually a 5-inch Bison 3-jaw chuck, which is actually a live center. And I've already thought of many jobs I've done over the years that would have been real handy to have. This next piece here I was pretty excited to get. This has been sitting on a shelf for over 30 years and pretty much just wiped the dust off a little bit. The white right there was where the door would open. It would rub paint off of the sheetrock wall. It sat in a gentleman's office. I spotted this over 3 years ago, and at the time he was not interested in getting rid of it. He acquired it from an old machinist friend of his that passed 30 plus years ago. And this last trip, he decided to let it go. And most of the drawers have been empty for 3 years. Started going through them, and he had some watches in the bottom. There's a little staining there. I have not cleaned anything yet on it. And as you can see, you can't find any one oil stain anywhere. It's just immaculate. I did call Gerstner and described it to them, and they said it could be anywhere from the mid-30s to all the way up to the mid-70s. In the mid-70s, they quit putting the leather handle on the top on the 42 model. So I'm assuming, if you pay the money with Gerstner, they can get it within like 3 to 10 years, they said. But I don't know if I need to date it, any closer to that. But it ended up being just an immaculate piece. This is an all original cabinet. It's not restored, it's not refinished. The felt and everything, as you see right there, is all original. I believe the Model 42 is considered their apprentice box. When I was talking to the gal at Gerstner and I told her there was a number stamped in it, she said that they never stamped serial numbers or anything in it, and she had no idea what that would have been. Yeah, this will definitely be an heirloom piece that, you know, my daughters would probably want just as much as my boys. As always, I appreciate anybody that takes the time to check out my videos. And if you like this content, it would be cool to get, you know, hit the subscribe button and give me a thumbs up. Would be great. Thanks for watching.